Wisdom seekers, imagine this. You step into a room filled with people, a swirling tide of energy and emotion. Voices rise and fall like waves on the ocean. Faces light up with laughter, while others remain shrouded in subtle shadows of tension. And you, standing still, can see it all. Not just what they show, but what they hide. Their joys, fears, ambitions, and doubts are like whispers in the wind, just within your reach. What if I told you that every person carries a map within them? A map of their inner world, written in body language, tone, and the fleeting expressions that cross their face. And what if you could learn to read that map, unlocking truths they don't even know they're revealing? It's not magic, it's not manipulation. It's an ancient skill refined by philosophers, warriors, and thinkers who understood that the human soul speaks a language far more profound than words. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And yet, how often do we truly seek to understand the reality of another's imagination? The art of reading people is not just a tool. It's a doorway. It's a path to deeper connection, heightened intuition, and a sense of mastery over the unseen currents that drive human behavior. This is the secret weapon of the wise, the insightful, the unshakable. And today, I'll share with you the 8 signs that will change how you see everyone around you. But this isn't a skill you wield lightly. It requires patience, presence, and the humility to accept that we are all far more alike in our vulnerabilities than we care to admit. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up, if you will ever dig. To truly read others, we must also first read ourselves. So wisdom seekers, prepare to embark on a journey, one that will lead you through the unseen, the unspoken, and the often misunderstood. By the end of this video, you'll see the world differently. People won't just be strangers or acquaintances. They'll be open books, if only you're willing to learn their language. Let's uncover the signs, layer by layer, each one a key to unlocking the secrets that people carry with them. Stay with me until the end, because these signs work together, like pieces of a puzzle. Miss one, and the picture is incomplete. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Every like, subscribe helps us continue our mission of sharing knowledge, and leave a comment below and share your opinion on these strategies, or tell me which one resonates with you the most. Ready to unlock more wisdom? Let's get started. Sign 1. The language of the eyes. The eyes, wisdom seekers, are often called the windows to the soul, and for good reason. In the smallest flickers of movement or stillness, they reveal what words cannot. The Stoics believed in observing life with clarity, detachment, and focus, and there is no better place to begin this practice than with the study of someone's gaze. When you look into someone's eyes, you are not merely seeing, you are interpreting. Eyes are storytellers, and their narrative is relentless. Consider this. A darting glance is often a sign of unease, hesitation, or a search for an escape. It tells you that the person is caught between staying and fleeing, whether physically or emotionally. On the other hand, a steady gaze can indicate confidence, focus, or even confrontation. But beware, steady doesn't always mean honest. A prolonged, unbroken stare could be a mask, an effort to appear strong when insecurity rages beneath the surface. Pay attention to how the eyes interact with the environment. Do they soften when they rest on certain people? Do they harden when certain topics are mentioned? Imagine a man sitting at a table, his eyes constantly drifting to his phone. What is he communicating? Perhaps a desire to be elsewhere, or perhaps an unresolved tension he cannot voice. This is where the wisdom of philosophers like Epictetus comes into play. He taught that we must discern what lies within our control and what does not. By watching the eyes, you can begin to see the internal struggle of those around you, whether they are lost in thought, weighed down by regret, or looking for an unseen hope. But reading eyes is not just about movement. It's also about timing. How long does someone hold eye contact? A brief glance may suggest shyness, while prolonged eye contact could signify attraction, dominance, or an effort to build trust. Some people break eye contact the moment they tell a lie, while others are skilled enough to maintain it, daring you to doubt them. This is where your discernment becomes crucial. Look for the shifts, the subtle hesitations, the micro-expressions that betray their inner truth. And then there is the matter of pupils. Science and philosophy meet here in a fascinating dance. When someone is aroused, interested, or deeply focused, their pupils dilate, a response that is entirely involuntary. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." The eyes then become the canvas on which those thoughts are painted. If you learn to read these signs, you will see not just the surface of a person, but the depth of their intentions and feelings. Think of the eyes as a compass, pointing you toward their inner world. When someone is joyful, their eyes often crinkle at the corners, creating the warmth of a genuine smile. But when the smile is forced, the eyes remain cold, unmoving, betraying the truth. When someone feels threatened, their eyes might widen, scanning for danger, even if their words attempt to convey calm. If you practice observing these subtle cues, you will begin to perceive the emotions that lie beneath the veneer of politeness or pretense. The art of reading the eyes requires practice, but it is a skill that will serve you for a lifetime. Seneca taught that wisdom comes from constant observation and reflection. Let the eyes of others be your first lesson. Every flicker, every glance, every moment of stillness is a whisper of their soul. If you listen closely, you will hear more than you ever thought possible. Sign 2. The Symphony of Body Language. While the eyes may reveal the soul, the body tells the story of the mind. Words can deceive, but the body is an unrelenting narrator, often unaware that it's telling a tale at all. Every movement, every posture, every gesture is like a note in a symphony, combining to create a melody of truth that even the most practiced liar struggles to suppress. Begin with the posture. How someone holds themselves can speak volumes about their state of mind. A person who walks with their shoulders back, chest open, and head held high often exudes confidence and self-assurance. Yet there is a subtle difference between true confidence and bravado. Watch for stiffness or overcompensation. An exaggerated effort to seem powerful may indicate insecurity lurking beneath the surface. Conversely, someone who slouches or hunches over may be weighed down by stress, sadness, or fear. The Stoics often spoke of carrying burdens, both physical and emotional. When Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. He was reminding us that much of what we perceive in others is a reflection of their internal struggles. A hunched posture might be the outward manifestation of an internal storm they are yet to conquer. Observe the hands, for they are often the most honest part of the body. Nervous hands fidget, pick at nails, or twist objects, revealing tension or unease. Confident hands are steady, deliberate, and open, signaling trust and calm. Pay attention to where people place their hands during a conversation. Are they clenched in fists, resting defensively across their chest, or gesturing freely to emphasize their words? Each choice tells you what they feel, even if they aren't aware of it themselves. The feet, often ignored, are another critical piece of this symphony. While the upper body may perform for the audience, the feet tend to betray the truth. A person who points their feet toward the door during a conversation is mentally preparing to leave, no matter how engaged their words or facial expressions might seem. Someone whose feet remain firmly planted and directed toward you is far more likely to be fully present and engaged. But body language is not static. It's a dynamic interaction. Pay attention to how someone's movements change depending on who they're with or what they're discussing. If a person leans in when speaking to one person but pulls back when addressing another, they are signaling comfort or discomfort, trust or suspicion. As Seneca reminds us, he who is brave is free. Watch for the physical markers of freedom or constraint in their movements, and you will understand their feelings before they speak a word. Reading body language requires an active mind and a calm spirit. You must resist the urge to judge too quickly. A single movement taken out of context can be misleading. Instead, look for patterns. Combine the tilt of the head, the placement of the hands, and the posture of the body into a cohesive narrative. As you practice, you will find that the truth is rarely hidden. It is merely unobserved. Wisdom seekers, remember, the body never lies. It is a symphony, a composition of truth that plays in the background of every interaction. To truly read people, you must learn to listen to this music, to decipher its notes, and hear the message within. Sign 3. The echo of the voice wisdom seekers. If the eyes reveal the soul and the body narrates the mind, the voice is the thread that weaves them together into a living tapestry. A person's voice is not just a means of communication, it is an echo of their inner state. Each inflection, pause, and intonation is a brushstroke, painting the emotions they carry. To read someone, you must learn to listen, not just to what they say, but to how they say it. The tone of voice is your first clue. A warm, steady tone often indicates confidence, comfort, or genuine interest. But beware, tone can be a tool of deception. Some people mask their feelings behind practiced politeness, using an artificially cheerful tone to disguise discomfort or irritation. The key is to notice when the tone does not match the words. For example, someone who says "I'm fine" in a clipped, sharp tone is clearly not fine at all. Their voice reveals what their words conceal. Pay attention to rhythm and pace. A person speaking quickly may be excited, nervous, or eager to convince you of something. But rapid speech can also be a defense mechanism, a way to avoid letting you process their words too deeply. Slow, deliberate speech often conveys thoughtfulness or calm, but in some cases it may be a sign of someone carefully crafting their narrative, choosing words with precision to guide your perception. Silence, too, is a form of communication. The spaces between words are as telling as the words themselves. A sudden pause may signal hesitation, doubt, or a need to gather thoughts. Prolonged silence in response to a question can indicate discomfort, unwillingness to answer, or deep reflection. As Epictetus taught, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. When you listen with intention, even silence becomes a meaningful expression. Volume is another dimension of the voice that carries significant weight. A person who speaks loudly may be trying to assert dominance, draw attention, or cover up their insecurity. Conversely, someone who speaks softly might be shy, unsure, or testing your willingness to listen. But do not mistake volume for confidence or quietness for timidity. Context is crucial. Notice whether the person's volume shifts when the topic changes, or when different people enter the conversation. Emotion often leaks through the voice, no matter how much someone tries to suppress it. A tremble in the voice may reveal fear, sadness, or vulnerability. A sharp edge might betray anger or frustration, even if their words are carefully neutral. Joy, sorrow, anger, and excitement all color the voice in ways that are almost impossible to hide. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul is dyed the color of its thoughts." The voice, then, is the canvas where those colors are displayed for all to hear. To master this sign, practice listening beyond the surface. When someone speaks, ask yourself, what emotions lie beneath their words? Are their pauses natural or forced? Does their tone shift when the topic changes? Like a musician tuning into the subtle variations in a melody, you must train your ear to catch the nuances that others overlook. The voice wisdom seekers is a gateway to the heart. When you learn to hear its truths, you will find that it rarely leads you astray. Sign 4. The dance of emotional mirroring. Imagine standing before a still pond, tossing in a stone, and watching as ripples radiate outward, reflecting everything around them. Human emotions work in much the same way. When we connect with others, our emotions mirror each other in a subtle, often unconscious dance. This phenomenon is known as emotional mirroring, and it is one of the most powerful tools for reading people. The Stoics believed in cultivating emotional resilience, but they also recognized the importance of understanding the emotions of others. To read someone effectively, observe how their emotional state aligns or clashes with your own. For example, when you express joy, do they smile and lean in, sharing in your enthusiasm, or do they remain distant, unmoved, or even dismissive? Emotional mirroring is a natural response in most social interactions, but when it's absent, it signals something deeper, a lack of connection, discomfort, or hidden feelings. Watch for subtle changes in facial expressions and body language. If someone mirrors your smile with their own, nods when you nod, or leans forward when you lean in, they are likely attuned to your emotions. This synchronization is a sign of rapport, empathy, or shared understanding. However, if their expressions remain static or their movements feel disjointed, they may be disengaged, defensive, or preoccupied. But mirroring is not always genuine. Skilled manipulators often use deliberate emotional mirroring to build trust or influence your perception. They will mimic your gestures, tone, and expressions to create a false sense of connection. To discern authenticity, pay attention to timing. Genuine mirroring is instinctive and immediate, while deliberate mirroring often has a slight delay, a calculated echo, rather than a natural harmony. Emotional mirroring is not limited to physical expressions. It also occurs in speech and energy. Notice if their choice of words, rhythm, or tone shifts to match yours. Do they adopt a similar cadence or vocabulary? Do their emotions rise and fall in sync with yours? This alignment can be a sign of mutual understanding, or in some cases, an attempt to manipulate the flow of the conversation. As you observe mirroring, reflect on its purpose. Is the person attempting to connect with you to build a bridge of empathy and understanding? Or are they using it as a tool to gain your trust, to guide you toward a specific outcome? The Stoics remind us to remain vigilant, to question appearances and seek the truth beneath the surface. Seneca wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." Emotional mirroring can reveal both the beauty and the sorrow of human connection, but it also requires discernment to separate the genuine from the contrived. Wisdom seekers, emotional mirroring is a dance we all participate in, whether we realize it or not. To read others, you must learn to recognize the rhythm of this dance and understand what it reveals. When you master this sign, you will not only see others more clearly, but also deepen your own emotional intelligence, enhancing every interaction you encounter. Sign 5. The subtle power of word choices. Words are more than mere sounds. They are reflections of a person's inner world. The specific language someone uses, the patterns in their speech, and even the words they avoid reveal their priorities, fears, and worldview. Wisdom seekers, learning to decode these clues is akin to unlocking the key to their thoughts. The Stoics believed that clarity of mind leads to clarity of speech, and by observing language, we can discern the clarity or chaos within a person's soul. Pay attention to recurring themes in their speech. Does someone frequently use words associated with struggle, stress, or conflict? They may be experiencing turmoil, whether external or internal. Conversely, someone who habitually speaks in terms of opportunity, growth, and gratitude may be reflecting a more resilient and optimistic mindset. But remember, positivity in words does not always equate to positivity in spirit. Some people use upbeat language to mask deeper struggles, while others who express doubt or frustration may simply be seeking connection or understanding. Notice the pronouns they favor. The use of I, me, or my in excess can indicate a focus on the self, sometimes confidence, other times self-absorption or insecurity. On the other hand, frequent use of we, us, or our often suggests a collaborative or community-focused mindset, though it could also be a tactic to avoid personal accountability. Philosophers like Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity. By observing how someone refers to themselves in relation to others, you can glean insights into their sense of belonging or isolation. Silence can also be telling. Consider the words someone chooses not to say. Do they avoid discussing certain topics or steer the conversation away from particular subjects? This avoidance could signal discomfort, fear, or an attempt to conceal something. A skilled observer understands that what is left unsaid often carries as much weight as what is spoken. Listen for qualifiers, hesitations, and filler words. Phrases like I guess, maybe, or I'm not sure can reveal uncertainty or a lack of conviction. Repeated use of these qualifiers might indicate a deeper fear of judgment or rejection. Similarly, excessive use of filler words like like, or you know can signal nervousness, distraction, or an unspoken struggle to articulate thoughts. But do not rush to judgment. Context is critical. A person's speech patterns often shift depending on their comfort level, the setting, or their relationship with the listener. Word choices also reveal priorities. Someone who frequently mentions work, family, or a specific hobby is offering you a glimpse into what matters most to them. The Stoics taught us to focus on what is essential, and by observing what someone emphasizes in their speech, you can begin to understand their personal hierarchy of values. Finally, observe the rhythm of their storytelling. Do they focus on the details, or do they gravitate toward the big picture? Are their words vivid and colorful, or are they concise and functional? A detailed storyteller may be a deep thinker or a chronic overanalyzer, while someone who summarizes may prioritize efficiency or simplicity. Both styles are valid, but they reflect different approaches to processing and sharing information. Wisdom seekers. Language is the bridge between thought and action. By paying close attention to the words someone uses, you can uncover the patterns of their mind and the priorities of their heart. Words are never random. They are deliberate choices that, once decoded, reveal profound truths. Sign 6. The art of energy perception. Energy is an unspoken force that flows through every interaction. It is not something you see or hear, but something you feel, an intangible essence that defines how someone moves through the world. To read people effectively, you must learn to perceive this energy, for it often speaks louder than words or actions ever could. Each person carries an energetic signature, a unique blend of intensity, focus, and emotional charge. Some people radiate calm, drawing others to them with a quiet, grounding presence. Others project an energy that is vibrant, electric, and almost overwhelming. By tuning into this energy, you can sense a person's mood, intentions, and even their level of authenticity. Start by observing the energy someone brings into a space. Do they fill the room with their presence, commanding attention without speaking a word? Or do they fade into the background, content to let others take the spotlight? Neither approach is inherently good or bad, but both reveal important aspects of their personality. Those with dominant energy may crave control, recognition, or influence, while those with subtle energy may prioritize observation, reflection, or humility. Energy is also fluid. It changes depending on circumstances and relationships. Notice how someone's energy shifts in different settings. Are they energized and animated in a group, but subdued and introspective when alone? This contrast can reveal how they recharge, whether through external stimulation or internal solitude. The Stoics emphasized the importance of understanding one's nature. By observing energy fluctuations, you can discern whether someone is acting in alignment with their true self or trying to conform to external expectations. Pay attention to how someone's energy interacts with your own. Do you feel uplifted, drained, or uneasy in their presence? Energy is contagious, and your reaction to someone's energy often reflects their emotional state. For example, a person who exudes calm may soothe your anxiety, while someone with chaotic energy may leave you feeling unsettled. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By perceiving the energy of others, you can protect your own emotional well-being while gaining insight into their inner world. Facial expressions, body language, and tone contribute to a person's energetic presence, but true energy perception goes deeper. It requires an attunement to subtle shifts, an intensity that flares during a heated discussion, a heaviness that lingers in moments of silence, or a vibrancy that emerges when someone speaks about their passions. These shifts are the rhythm of their energy, and by observing them, you can understand what drives and defines them. Be wary of false energy. Some people project confidence or joy as a shield, masking insecurity or pain. This is often accompanied by a disconnect between their energy and their other cues. Words that feel forced, smiles that don't reach the eyes, or gestures that seem rehearsed. The Stoics believed in harmony between one's inner and outer self, and when this harmony is absent, it signals a deeper struggle. To master the art of energy perception, cultivate stillness within yourself. The quieter your mind, the more attuned you become to the subtle energies around you. As Seneca advised, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." Ground yourself in the present moment and you will sense what others cannot. Wisdom seekers, energy is the undercurrent of every human interaction. It is unseen but deeply felt, a force that reveals the truth of who we are. By learning to perceive and interpret this energy, you will unlock a new dimension of understanding, one that goes beyond the surface and speaks to the very essence of the soul. Sign 7, the map of reactions. Wisdom seekers, if you wish to truly read someone, pay close attention to how they react. Reactions are unguarded moments where the mask slips, revealing the authentic self beneath. Unlike carefully chosen words or rehearsed behaviors, reactions are raw and instinctual, expressions of the inner world spilling out into the open. They are the landmarks on the map of a person's character, guiding you to their deepest truths. Start by observing reactions to unexpected situations. How does someone respond to surprise, criticism, or disappointment? A calm and measured reaction suggests emotional stability, while anger or defensiveness may point to insecurity or unresolved conflicts. Consider how the Stoics approached adversity with equanimity. As Epictetus said, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In their reactions, people reveal their resilience, or lack thereof. Watch for patterns in their responses to challenges. Do they blame external factors, or take responsibility? Someone who consistently shifts blame outward is likely struggling with accountability, while those who own their mistakes demonstrate self-awareness and maturity. This distinction is crucial when assessing trustworthiness and dependability. Emotional triggers are another powerful clue. Observe how a person reacts when certain topics are mentioned or when particular behaviors are exhibited by others. Does a seemingly innocuous comment provoke an exaggerated response? Such reactions often signal deeper sensitivities or unresolved traumas. A person's emotional triggers are like windows into their past, revealing the experiences that shaped them. Consider their reactions in social contexts. Do they light up when others succeed, or does jealousy cloud their demeanor? Are they quick to comfort someone in distress, or do they shy away from emotional vulnerability? These reactions expose their capacity for empathy and their approach to relationships. Seneca reminds us, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Reactions that reflect kindness and compassion indicate a person who values connection over competition. Nonverbal reactions are just as telling as verbal ones. A stiffening posture, a clenched jaw, or averted eyes can reveal discomfort or disagreement even when words suggest otherwise. Conversely, a relaxed stance, steady eye contact, and open gestures signify ease and honesty. The body often speaks louder than the mouth, and by attuning yourself to these physical cues, you can discern truths that others might prefer to keep hidden. Pay attention to the pace of their reactions. Immediate, impulsive responses often indicate emotional reactivity, while measured, thoughtful reactions suggest self-control and intentionality. But beware of overanalysis. Some people may appear slow to react because they are processing deeply, not because they are indifferent or disengaged. The Stoics valued thoughtful reflection over impulsive action, and this principle applies to reading others as well. Reactions are also influenced by context. Notice how a person behaves in different environments, at work, at home, or among friends. Are their reactions consistent, or do they shift depending on the audience? A person who adjusts their demeanor drastically may be trying to fit in or hide aspects of themselves. Authenticity is marked by congruence. Their reactions will align with their core values, regardless of the setting. Wisdom seekers, reactions are not mere responses to external events. They are expressions of the inner self. By observing them closely, you can map out a person's character, values, and emotional state with remarkable accuracy. The key is to approach this with compassion, not judgment. For as the Stoics believed, we all carry burdens unseen, and understanding these reactions can help us connect with others on a deeper level. Sign 8. The choices that define them. If reactions reveal a person's instincts, their choices reveal their priorities, ethics, and aspirations. Wisdom seekers, nothing is more telling about a person than the decisions they make, both the grand, life-changing ones and the seemingly insignificant daily ones. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. By examining someone's choices, you glimpse the palette they use to paint their life. Begin with the small, everyday choices. How do they spend their time? Do they prioritize productivity, leisure, or relationships? Someone who invests their energy in self-improvement or meaningful connections demonstrates a focus on growth and purpose. Conversely, a person who consistently indulges in distractions or trivial pursuits may be avoiding deeper truths or struggling with direction. These patterns are the foundation of their character, as even minor choices accumulate to define a person's trajectory. Consider how they treat others when there is no apparent benefit to themselves. Are they kind to service workers, patient with strangers, and supportive of friends? Or do they reserve their politeness for those they perceive as powerful or useful? A person's choices in how they interact with others reflect their values, whether they act out of genuine integrity or self-interest. As Epictetus observed, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Surround yourself with those whose choices elevate, not diminish. Observe how they approach ethical dilemmas. Do they choose the path of least resistance even when it conflicts with their principles? Or are they willing to make sacrifices for the sake of doing what is right? Someone who consistently chooses integrity over convenience demonstrates a moral compass worth admiring. But remember, choices made under pressure often reveal the most about a person's true nature. Examine their goals and aspirations. Are their choices aligned with a clear vision for the future? Or are they scattered and reactive? Someone who makes decisions with purpose and intention is likely driven by a sense of meaning, while those who drift aimlessly may lack self-awareness or motivation. The Stoics taught that a life guided by reason and virtue leads to fulfillment. By observing whether someone's choices reflect these principles, you can discern the depth of their wisdom. Notice how they handle adversity. Do they make choices that reflect resilience and adaptability, or do they succumb to despair? A person who faces challenges with grace and determination is one who understands the Stoic ideal of focusing on what is within their control. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Finally, pay attention to the consistency of their choices. Are their actions aligned with their words? Someone who claims to value honesty but frequently lies, or who professes a love for learning but avoids growth, reveals a disconnect between their stated values and their true priorities. Authenticity is demonstrated through alignment, when someone's choices consistently reflect their beliefs and aspirations. Wisdom seekers, choices are the ultimate expression of a person's character. They reveal not just who someone is, but who they aspire to become. By examining the decisions they make, you can uncover the essence of their values, desires, and fears. As you apply this understanding, remember the Stoic principle of compassion. Everyone is navigating their own path, and by reading their choices with empathy, you can build connections that inspire growth for them and for yourself. Let these signs guide you, not just in reading others, but in understanding the depths of your own soul. For the greatest wisdom lies not in judgment, but in connection. Final thoughts: the art of understanding humanity. Wisdom seekers, you have now journeyed through the 8 profound signs that reveal the essence of a person. Each sign is a doorway into the soul, offering a glimpse into someone's thoughts, values, fears, and dreams. But let us not forget, the purpose of this understanding is not to judge or manipulate, but to connect, to empathize, and to grow. As the Stoics taught, true wisdom lies in self-mastery and harmony with others. By learning to read people, you cultivate not only insight into their lives, but also a deeper awareness of your own. This knowledge is a double-edged sword, one that must be wielded with humility and compassion. For as Marcus Aurelius wisely said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Remember that people are intricate, ever-changing, and layered. No single sign or observation can define them completely. Approach each interaction with curiosity and patience, knowing that what you perceive today may evolve tomorrow. In the words of Seneca, the greatest wealth is to live content with little. And what greater wealth is there than understanding another person's heart? Use these tools not only to understand others, but also to reflect on yourself. Are your words aligned with your values? Does your energy uplift or drain those around you? Do your choices reflect your aspirations? The art of reading others begins with the art of reading yourself. When you master your own reactions, intentions, and priorities, you become a beacon of authenticity, someone others naturally gravitate toward and trust. Wisdom seekers, let this knowledge empower you to navigate the complexities of human relationships with grace and integrity. As you move through the world, remember that every person you meet is fighting battles unseen, carrying hopes unspoken, and yearning for connection. By reading the signs they share, you can bridge divides, inspire understanding, and embody the very wisdom you seek. In the end, the goal is not to become a mere observer of humanity, but an active participant in its beauty and depth. Carry these lessons with you, and let them guide you not only to read anyone, but to understand everyone, including yourself.